So, I heard you like short, easy to understand, and straight to the point tips and tricks. Here are over 100 tips, tricks, advice, and mistakes to avoid in Dune Awakening. If you find any of these helpful, consider subscribing. Drink when you can, even if water isn't completely depleted. Don't wait until you're desperate. Maintaining high hydration provides performance bonuses and prevents emergency situations. Water level 3 makes travel and combat significantly better. Maximum hydration provides substantial bonuses to your performance. Always top off your water before important activities. Blood provides superior hydration compared to other water sources, with water sight as an alternative. Blood bag inventory management is crucial. Always carry multiple blood bags since they're the most efficient water source. Seek shade during desert travel as direct sunlight causes heat stroke. Prolonged sun exposure triggers a debilitating condition that affects your survival capabilities. Plan your activities around heat stroke mechanics since it dramatically increases water consumption rate, making shorter trips safer during peak heat. Don't walk out into the desert with your shield on. Shields attract sandworms and don't help with heat or dehydration. Save shield activation for actual combat situations. Steel suits are great for exploration, armor is great for combat. Choose your gear based on your planned activity. Steel suits recycle moisture and are perfect for long desert journeys, while armor keeps you alive in fights. Discovered lilies show on the map as droplets when zoomed in. These natural water sources become permanent map markers once found, making them reliable refill points. Now that you won't die of thirst in the first 10 minutes, let's make sure you don't become sandworm food either. Never run on open sand with your shield activated as it triggers the worm immediately. Shields can create immediate worm detection, removing your 30-second grace period. The worm activity indicator gives you a warning before sandworm arrival. Pay attention to this visual cue as your primary alert system for incoming danger. If a worm is already active in your area, you have about 15 seconds. Active worms reduce your escape time significantly. When there's already worm active nearby, every second counts as double. Avoid the red circles on your map at all costs. These indicate drum sand areas that trigger sandworms much faster than regular sand. What normally takes 30 seconds becomes 15 seconds in a drum sand areas. Always plot your course before journeys and try to move from rock to rock. This minimizes time spent on dangerous sand where sandworms can detect you. Vehicle positioning is a survival technique. Always face your vehicle towards escape routes when stopping on sand to eliminate turnaround time during worm encounters. Cross from Haga Basin south to Vermilia's Gap through the designated flat area only. This is the safest and intended crossing point that minimizes worm encounter risk. Don't try to be clever and find shortcuts. The developer put this crossing here for a reason. You can travel alongside a worm until it does the pop-up animation. The worm isn't dangerous until it completes its breach animation sequence. You can actually use this to your advantage for longer desert crossings. Use Benidash paired with Uplift module and Jump for optimal travel. This combination provides the fastest and most efficient movement across terrain. Make smart traversal moves close to rock formations and cross at the most logical paths. Staying near safety reduces exposure time in dangerous areas. Use custom markers on top of destination markers to keep them on your compass when facing away. This ensures you always know your direction even when not facing your destination. Pay attention to the elevation markers on your compass to know if destinations are above or below you. This helps with navigation planning and route optimization. Knowing whether you need to climb up or down saves time and helps you choose the safest path. Learn the terrain and remember paths. Familiarity with the landscape is crucial for safe and efficient travel. The more you explore, the better your mental map becomes, and knowledge is survival in the desert. Great, now you can cross the desert without dying, but you'll need supplies to make those journeys worthwhile. Carry 100 salvage metals for making respawn beacons and use them. These are essential safety nets that prevent losing progress when you die. EMF regulators are the most valuable early game drops as they let you craft tools. These components unlock essential crafting recipes, making them more valuable than weapons or armor in early game. Carry 100 fibers for making bandages. This gives you a reliable healing source that doesn't depend on finding medical supplies. Power cells or fuel cells are needed to keep base shields up. Grab all that you can see. Without power, your base shield fails and it's vulnerable to sandstorms. Only pick up plant fiber for healing kits, scrap metal for crafting, and power cells when starting. These 3 items will keep you alive and progressing without cluttering your limited inventory space. Don't take important equipment you won't use on long journeys. Use backup sets if possible. Never take your best gear on risky expeditions. Use secondary sets to avoid losing premium equipment to sandworms or PvP. Holtzman actuators are found in huge quantities in crashed ornithopter wrecks on sand and near rocks. These crashes are gold mines for this essential component. Armor plates are found on crashed buggies around sand and near rocks. Similar to ornithopter wrecks, these vehicle crashes provide consistent sorts of armor components for your gear upgrades. Flower sand spawns deep in the sand, but also spawns safely next to rocks. You don't need to venture into dangerous deep sand to find this resource. Scout around rock formations for safer gathering spots. Never use unique equipment without farming spare blueprints in case you lose them to the worm. Unique items require Imperial crafting permits that are consumed on use and lost if the item is destroyed. With your inventory sorted, let's make sure you can actually fight your way out of trouble when things go wrong. A shotgun to the head can one-shot most early game enemies except heavy gunners. Headshots with shotguns are extremely effective for quick enemy elimination. Parry into slow stab takes out most melee enemies in one hit. This combo is a reliable way to handle melee threats efficiently. SMG is amazing against shielded enemies for range gameplay. The high rate of fire overwhelms shield mechanics effectively. Sugar wire is great for sword users as it provides stun and lets you slow blade through shields. The stun effect allows you to bypass enemy defenses for critical strikes. Standard versions of green weapons are better than the regular ones. The standard prefix indicates superior stats compared to base versions. Always check the prefix, sometimes green standard weapon beats a higher rarity regular one. Firing a weapon while shielded lowers your shield, making you take weapon damage. Your shield flickers when shooting, creating vulnerable windows. Time your shots carefully and be ready to take cover when your shield drops. Shield mechanics create tactical windows. Time your attacks when enemy shields are down from their own weapon fire, creating vulnerability windows for maximum damage. Aluminum gear becomes an endgame for PvE once you get a unique poison sword and shotgun. These items can one-shot most enemies, making PvE content trivial. Once you can handle yourself in a fight, you want somewhere safe to store all that hard-earned loot. Don't overbuild your first base as you'll have to abandon it for the story. The main questline will eventually force you to relocate, so don't invest too heavily in your starter base. Check where you build your base. Sandworms can attack your base while you're offline, destroying anything in their path. Choose your location carefully to minimize this risk. Build a temporary base first until you learn the area, then build your real base with good farming loops. Take time to understand the local resources and threats before committing to a permanent location. A well-placed base can make resource gathering effortless. Build your real base in space with good orange, green, blue farming loop access. Having easy access to different resource types means less dangerous travel and more efficient gathering. Location is everything in base building. Any resources in chests you own within your base area are accessible when crafting and building. You don't need to manually move items around, the game automatically pulls from nearby storage when you're crafting. Use the bike inventory module alongside your own inventory when transporting a base. This effectively doubles your carrying capacity when moving operations, making base relocation much more manageable. Clog fabricator or a refiner storage with one item per slot, so materials export to designated chests. This automation trick ensures processed materials automatically sort into your storage system instead of clogging up your machines. Make sure you use circuit systems. Left box is input, right box is output. Understanding the automation system lets you create efficient resource processing chains that work while you're away exploring. Now that you have a secure base, let's talk about filling it with the best loot that the desert has to offer. Constellation chests are the primary source of unique blueprints. Note their locations for respawn farming. These special containers provide the rarest schematics in the game. Mark their locations and return regularly to build up your blueprint collection. Respawn time for chests in PvE areas is 40 to 45 minutes. Plan your farming routes around this timer. You can cycle between multiple locations for continuous loot opportunities. You can quick loot by spamming spacebar or hold E to fast loot everything at once. Speed looting techniques help you grab items quickly when sandworms are approaching or enemies are nearby. When looting crash ships, start with port bow compartment, which has the best loot, then top middle, then starboard midship. Different compartments have different loot tables, and this order prioritizes the most valuable sections first. Some trade posts have free sandbikes in garages, just walk up to them and claim them. These vehicles respawn periodically and provide free transportation. Check trading posts regularly for free rides. Even some NPC camps have free buggies. Even damaged vehicles are better than walking. These camps often have vehicles that just need minor repairs to become functional. Chest loot and corpse loot are personal, no fighting over loot. Unlike some survival games, you don't need to compete with other players for container contents. Everyone gets their own loot roll. Always check behind the fridge in bases for additional loot. This is a common hiding spot for valuable items. Gain intel from green holograms at NPC camps and from certain POIs. These information sources reveal map locations and provide valuable strategic intelligence about the surrounding area. With loot secure, let's optimize your vehicles and equipment to handle whatever the desert throws at you. If possible, always have 2 bikes, one to take out, one to retrieve your corpse if you die. Having a backup vehicle means you can always recover from death, even in the most remote locations. Upgrade vehicle parts that increase speed and lower vibration emissions. Faster vehicles with lower sand signatures let you cross dangerous area with much less risk of attracting sandworms. Park bikes in sheltered spots when leaving them. They get wrecked in the open. Environmental damage and other players can destroy unprotected vehicles. Always find cover when leaving transportation behind. Use vehicle backup tool on your vehicle, especially important during PvP. Vehicle insurance prevents catastrophic losses when other players destroy your rides. Use basic cutaway for cutting doors, not your big one. It preserves durability and is faster. Save your high-end tools for important tasks. Basic cutters work fine for simple doors and preserve your expensive equipment. You can access vehicle inventory from base proximity without manually moving items. This convenience feature saves time when unloading cargo at your base. You don't need to physically interact with your vehicle. Turn off hide/fade UI elements over time, as it can hide the worm meter. This UI setting can literally get you killed by hiding critical survival information. Keep your interface visible at all times. Use vulture mode by pressing shift in ornithopters to glide without consuming fuel and gain speed. This flight technique extends range and reduces operating costs while actually improving performance. Ornithopters can carry passengers surfing on the roof. Being prepared is great, but you also need to read the desert's warning signs before trouble finds you. Open map to see if worms are aggroed in your area before venturing onto sand. The map always shows active worm territories, letting you plan routes to avoid immediate danger zones. Watch for weather alerts, find shelter immediately during sandstorms. Weather events can be deadly if you're caught unprepared. Always have shelter options planned when venturing into the desert. Keep environmental sounds on to hear worm rumbling and vibrations. Audio cues provide early warning of approaching danger. Don't rely solely on visual indicators when survival is at stake. 8 worms can be simultaneously active in Haga Basin South. This region can become extremely dangerous when multiple worms are active. Imperial ships at night will spotlight and attack you. Nighttime brings additional aerial threats that can complicate travel plans. Factor these patrols into your movement schedules. Once you've mastered survival, it's time to think about building the perfect character for long-term success. Get Ben Gesserit's skill line early, since that trainer is encounterable late in the game. This powerful skill tree becomes available much later if you don't grab it early. Don't miss this opportunity for enhanced abilities. Do not pick Trooper as a starting class, since that trainer is in the starting area. You can always come back to learn Trooper skills, but other class trainers are much harder to reach. Use suspension belts ASAP, they're OP for traversal and combat positioning. This equipment dramatically improves your mobility options and can completely change how you approach dangerous situations. Different starting classes have different bonuses. Class choice provides permanent benefits that stack with your learned skills. Consider these bonuses when planning your character. Skill points are resettable once every 48 hours. Mistakes aren't permanent, but frequent changes aren't possible either. Plan your builds carefully, but don't stress too much about the perfect optimization. For optimal dew harvest, farm right before the blue box on the game clock. Timing your resource gathering with game cycles maximizes efficiency and yields better results from your farming efforts. With your character optimized, let's talk about making the most out of the economic opportunities around you. Sell everything in Haga Basin South unless you need it immediately. This trading hub offers best prices for the most items. Don't sell to random traders where you can get better deals at the main market. The trader sells components only available from POIs, useful if you need more than one run provides. If farming runs don't provide enough of the specific items, traders can fill the gaps. Sometimes buying is more efficient than grinding. Survey regions to get menus showing every locations you haven't visited. Systematic exploration tracking helps you identify missed opportunities and plan efficient exploration routes. Ready to take your skills to the next level? These advanced techniques separate the masters from the merely competent. Vertical climbing is easy with the uplift module. Grab, jump, let go of the direction, then re-grab. This technique lets you scale any surface quickly and efficiently. Master it and no cliff or wall can stop you. You can back off cliffs and hit spacebar while falling to grab the cliff and stop fall damage. This emergency technique can save you from fatal falls. Practice the timing in safe areas before you need it in a crisis. NPCs never climb vertical surface. Go vertical for safety during combat. When overwhelmed by enemies, climbing up removes most threats from the equation. Use the environment to your advantage. Use an anti-gravity grenade for vertical travel. Toss high on wall, grapple through field for double height. Combining tools creates movement opportunities the developers probably didn't intend. Combine hookshot with Emperor's wings for insane vertical lift and potential worm escape. Advanced movement combinations can literally lift you out of the danger. This combo might even save you from sandworm encounters. NPCs follow straight lines when attacked and are stopped by obstacles. Understanding AI behavior lets you manipulate enemy movement and create tactical advantages during combat encounters. And finally, learn from the painful mistakes others have made so you don't have to repeat them. Never touch this electric worm. You don't want to find out why. Don't spend too much time being greedy at crash sites when a worm is approaching. Greed kills more survivors than any other factor. Know when to cut your losses and escape while you still can. Don't make the mistake of crossing Haga Basin to Vermilia's Gap in unusual locations. Stick to established crossing points. Attempting shortcuts through dangerous terrain usually ends in disaster and wasted time. Don't jump ahead on missions if you're using unlock all options. You'll have to build sandbike twice. Quest sequence breaking can create annoying resource waste and force you to repeat crafting tasks unnecessarily. You now have everything you need to not just survive but dominate Arrakis. Let me know if there are any other tips I missed in the comments. Thank you for watching, consider subscribing and watch more Dune Awakening videos appearing on your screen.